Hi, so today we have a MacBook Pro 15-inch that has no sound. I'm gonna zoom in, show you that the sound is not working. As you can see, the icon of the sound is not working. I can't turn up the volume or turn down the volume. And in the settings, output, there is an optical digital output port, but the problem is I can't turn up and turn down the volume. So this MacBook came in, the customer said that he was playing really loud music through his audio jack output to an sound amplifier, and in one beautiful moment it stopped working. It just stopped outputting sound to the amplifier. So I think there is something has to do with the audio codec that in the MacBook, and we are gonna see what's wrong under the microscope. So we are gonna look at under the microscope to see what's wrong with the motherboard and why don't we have any sound. And I'm gonna start with this part, which is the part where is the headphone jack. Basically the audio codec chip should be here. I think this is it. I saw on the schematics that this is it. So basically our work should be here, all of it right here. And I saw that I noticed that the board is clean. I'm gonna show you. It's fully clean. There is no water damage. As you can see, everything is clean, and clean. So, back to our problem. We are gonna see, ooh, what do we have here? Some kind of explosion. Here we have some kind of explosion around this chip. So, let's see what this chip does. Okay, this is a MacBook A203662. Gonna open up my schematics. 3662. Huh. Okay. So this is the board view, and this is the schematics. So basically, I think this chip right here, no, it's this small one. So what is this? Use 6200, and we are gonna search for it. Use 6200. Okay, we found it. It's in the audio codec page. And what is written here? 4.5 volts power supply for codec. So this is the chip that is gonna give us the power supply, which is the 4.5 volts. So the audio codec chip can work. Okay, I've gone too far. Yes. So this chip is gonna give us the power. So this chip can work perfectly. So and this chip looks nasty under the microscope, as you can see. So we are gonna measure this chip to see what's wrong with it. And as I can see on the board view right here, that okay, the red probe on the ground, and we are gonna start measuring. this one is not shorted. Okay, so the first pin is 4.5 volts, the output, and the next one is ground audio codec, so this should go to ground, as you can hear. And then we have the first pin, which is the PP 4.5 volts audio analog, and it's shorted, not fully shorted, it's shorted 0.33. so this pin right here is shorted, which doesn't it shouldn't be. We are gonna check the other pads. This one is 4.5 regulator input, so this is the input, it's not shorted. Okay, so we are sure that the input is not shorted, but the output is shorted, which it doesn't have to be shorted. This is the ground. Yes, this is the ground, and we have this pin right here, which is the 4.5 volts regulator enable. So this pin right here is the regulator, the enable pin, which tells this chip to turn on. So we have an enable line is not shorted, and the input line is not shorted, and this side right here of the chip is the output side. So the output is shorted but not fully shorted, so we have a problem with this chip. I'm gonna show you on the schematics. Okay, so this is the schematics, and here's the board view. Okay, so the pin number 1, which is the output, as you can see here, it says the output here is number 1. So this is the pin number 1, which goes to PP 4.5 audio analog, which the voltage should be 4.5 volts. And this line right here doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be shorted. If we had a problem with this capacitor right here, which is on this line and this line, and it can be, if it's shorted, then the line right here, or the output, will go to the ground right away. But we don't have a fully shorted to ground. We have a 0.33 shorted to ground, so the problem is not in this capacitor. If we had a full short to ground, then this capacitor would be our problem, but it's not fully shorted. So this is the feedback, which is line 3 and is not shorted. The line 5 is the ground, which is this one, and this is the enable, which is the number 4. Yes, and this the input, which goes from the L6200, which is our coil that is gonna increase our voltage, so the voltage doesn't drop when this chip needs to turn on and supply our audio codec. So what we are gonna try here, we are gonna try to remove this chip right here. We are gonna remove it and see if the output is still shorted to ground. If it's not, then our problem was this chip. If it's still shorted, then I think that the short or the damage has gone to the audio codec chip, and then I'm gonna have to search for it, because I don't have it, and I don't have a donor board. So yeah, now I'm gonna try to remove this little chip and see what we're gonna get. start removing it. Heat up the board from far away. Okay, so we removed the chip, and so we don't forget how the orientation of the chip. It has a dot here, so I'm gonna just scrape right like that really carefully on the surface of the board without damaging it. Okay, and I'm gonna clean the pads and see if we still have a short, which I hope we don't, because I don't have the audio codec chip and I don't want it that long to take a long time for this repair. Between ordering this chip from somewhere, then waiting for it to come, then it's not only the only problem we have. There is something else, and it's always not really simple, these repairs. So we clean with the alcohol. Okay, now we are gonna measure the output. If we still have a short, so the red probe to ground, yes, we still have a short to ground, which we must not have, and that is a problem. That is a problem. So this I'm gonna show you yes. So on the schematics, I'm sorry, this pin right here, which is pin number 1, goes to this capacitor. We have two big capacitors, which probably, maybe they are the problem, and then goes to another capacitor, but those capacitors are chemical capacitors. Then it goes to the audio codec chip. It doesn't go anywhere else. This little chip, which is the output right here, and then to those two small capacitors, big capacitors, sorry. And I don't think there is something. Oh yes, we have on the other side another capacitor and another capacitor, and I don't think those are the problem. So I'm gonna try a method to figure out where my problem is. I'm gonna input a voltage which is the 4.5 volts into this line and see what hits up first. I'm gonna use or my thermal camera, or I have here a new thing which is the dust off, but it's a cold air which is it's freeze. It freezes right here, and then whichever the place with the short is gonna hit up, and I'm gonna see it right away. So yeah, this is the method I'm gonna use and see where my problem is. So to do that, we are gonna need to solder a wire on this side. So I'm gonna try here this method. I'm gonna input a voltage on this capacitor or this capacitor. Basically, I'm gonna input a voltage on this line to see where it's gonna be shorted. It's gonna heat up, and I'm gonna be able to see where it's shorted. I removed this chip, so basically this 4.5 volts is not gonna go backwards to this coil. So yeah, let's get started. Okay. I can solder it here, but I'm gonna solder it right here. So turn on the solder. Like this. Okay. Maybe if I'm lucky, it's gonna be one of those capacitors, but I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, this one is really big. I'm gonna cut it off a little bit. So okay. So now solder, and we're gonna spray with this freezer. And I'm gonna connect it to the power supply. Make sure that it's 4.5. Yeah, I need to be faster. The freezer is connected to the ground. Right here, and okay, one more time. I think this time, no, it's not gonna be shorted right here. Make sure it's Oh yes. The probes are short. Okay. Yes, it's working. One more time, I'm gonna spray a little bit of this freezer. And there we go. Yes, it's the chip. As you can see, the chip, the freezer was melted really fast around the chip, so it's the chip. Unfortunately, I am gonna have to. I'm gonna show you one more time. Case freezed. There we go. As you can see, it start melting around the chip and inside the chip first and really fast. So the heating up, or the short, because of the short, it's gonna heat up, and it's heating up inside the chip. So now we know for a fact, for 100% sure, that the chip, the one it's short at the ground, it's not the power supply chip, it's not the capacitors, it's inside the chip itself. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to search for this chip online and see if I can find one. I'm gonna dry it with my hot air station. But at least now you know how to do this kind of I'm gonna say it, troubleshooting, so you can know where it's shorted and how you find the short and how you determine where the short is exactly. Sorry I didn't show you how I'm gonna reball this chip because it's a BGA chip. It's gonna take me a lot of time, and it's gonna take me a lot of time to find this chip, but I hope I'm not gonna post this video until I find the chip and I reball it and I record this reball, and I'm gonna show you that I fixed this motherboard and it's gonna be fully working. So stay tuned.